Hey everybody, it's Lee. How you doing today? I'm just getting a quick tune-up here, and I will check everything out in just a second. I think I see Josh and Evan. How you guys doing today? We're going to talk a little bit about. We're going to talk a little bit about the Guitar 30 Challenge. We're going to talk about stuff that's going on around here. Oh gosh, I was supposed to have. I'm using a whole new system right now. I'm using Streamlabs. There it is. Okay, we got chat. Yes, awesome. So we should have chat automatically coming up on the screen, and any other kind of alerts should come into another one too. So I was hoping that the chat would stay up there. So let me take a look at this. I don't know if I can change this on the fly or not. Okay, so I think, let's see, Josh and Evan, how you guys doing? I see, let's see, you're talking about all the stuff that's going on today. Yard work and everything. Let's see. And Evan's working from home tomorrow. That's awesome. And let's see. And oh, Josh, he had to wait on the coronavirus testing, and it was negative. Awesome. That's great. It's goodness gracious. Well, I'm learning this new system, so just bear with me a little bit. And let's see here. We are gonna. This is week 2, and week 2. Okay, I got some feedback. Evan says you're doing all right, Lee. Glad to be healthy. I'm glad you're healthy too. I'm glad to be healthy. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna calm down. Got a lot of stuff going on here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna share what we've worked on this week, and I'm gonna tell you about some of the stuff I've been working on, and the getting everything going for next week should be pretty fun too. So for Josh and Evan, I want to let you know that we have that I've seen most of the videos last night. I recorded one of the founding member lesson videos, and so right after this, I'm gonna finish them up. So I'll have yours to you this evening, and let's see. So I want to talk a little bit about how things are going in your neck of the woods, my neck of the woods, all those kind of things. So things not being in the middle of a big city. The city I'm in is a smaller city. The things have been escalating slowly. So we still haven't been going out. We went out and drove around once, but didn't get out of the car. I'm still working at home, so I've got a lot of stuff going on. I've been busy, haven't had a whole lot of time on my hands. But what it made me do, I'm used to this situation now. I know that that what we're going through is going to be here for a little while. And when it first started happening, I said, "Man, I just wanted to." Oh, hold on a second. Angel says, "Just wanted to check in. Daughter's birthday, and we are celebrating. Have to go. See you, Angel. Good to see you. Good to see you." Let me check the chat too, before I keep going. Evan says he's doing all right, Lee. Glad to be healthy. We talked about that before. Angel's what's working all the time. And let's see. Josh says, glad everybody's good. I'm looking forward to week 2. So let me know in the chat how week 1 went for you. Let me know a little bit about the if you notice any difference by the end of the first week. Maybe usually the end of the first week you're not going to notice a whole lot of difference. Let me know if you're sticking with what your initial plan was to work on. Especially Evan, I'd like to hear a little bit about your ideas about your workflow throughout the month. And let's see. And I'm gonna talk about. I've had to reevaluate some things with my practice as well. So I'm gonna get into that. So let's see here. Okay, I'm up to date on the chat. I'll talk a little bit about my week. So I started off doing what I said I was doing last week. I was playing in the key of, I started in Mixolydian through the G7, C7, and D7. I was working that all the way through. And I was also working on the Albert Collins songs. Now he tunes to an F minor open tuning, which was interesting. And so I thought, I've never really done that. I never really spent a whole lot of time trying to do an open tuning for electric guitar blues. I usually do everything standard. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to try it and see how it goes. And so I did. And it was rough, man. I don't know. I tried it at capo. He does F minor tuning. Capo's up high. And I played with that for a while, and I figured out the scale patterns and all those kind of stuff. And it was really, really foreign to me. And I got to the point where I said, that my time would be better served staying in standard tuning for his songs and working on that. But it was neat. It was neat exploring that. And so I'm going along doing those things. And I keep getting people asking about what to practice and not the founding members. Almost all the founding members are practicing what we're normally doing through the week and adding some songs on top of that. That's basically 9 times out of 10. That's what I've heard. But it's for other people who are not sure what they're going to be practicing this week. So what I wanted to do is just get on this academy stuff. So I took I think it was Wednesday was the last time I streamed, and we had a hard time. And in fact, that's what I wanted to ask you. How is the quality now on the live stream? If you guys could let me know. Is it choppy like it was before? I'm looking through my phone. I'm not noticing it being so choppy now. So maybe some of the things we're working on. I've taken the modem. Actually, I tried to order an Ethernet cable. I have about 20 of them in storage I can't get to. So I was trying to run this laptop straight into the modem. Got the modem close enough to do that. Ordered a cable, and it was not available when it came time for them to deliver it. So I'm still having to go wireless for this, but it looks like it's going pretty good. I'm watching on my phone. So let me know if you can see. So Evan says resolution's a little lower, but it's not choppy at all. Okay, well that's at least a step in the right direction. I'm using something called Streamlabs for this, which is similar to the program I was using before, but it's got a lot of different things. Putting the chat box up there. There's Josh says it's way better so far, completely clean. Great. Okay, so some of the work I've did is paying off. So I'm still running wireless. I've got a cord that came from the internet people, and it's like that long, and it won't reach. I tried. So I'm gonna keep working with this. I've got several other things in case I've got to stop for a second. I've got a be right back screen. Here's the be right back screen. There, let's see. So I've got that screen there in case I've got to run or somebody's calling or something like that. Got the countdown video in the beginning. I got that finished right before we went to go live. And it's actually a lot easier to do that. So looks like Evan says, wait, that was my settings, resolution's fine. That's awesome. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. So we've got us. We've only got a few people. I didn't really. I think YouTube may have sent something out, but I didn't send anything out because I wasn't sure if this was gonna, if all the things I was doing were all gonna work and come together at the same time. So it looks like it has. So since Evan is here and Josh is here, and there may be one or two other people here, let me know how your practicing went this week. Let me know about how long you had to practice, and let me know about how you're feeling at the end of the week and what's your goals for week 2. My goal for week 2 is to get through all the levels of videos, teaching videos. And so what I found out was I was doing Thursday. I was going through level 201. I did all the videos for it. 102 and 201, all the videos for those. And I was playing guitar all day. I was practicing, and I was actually playing a ton of fundamentals. And when it went to be my time to practice, I was kind of worn out by that point. So what I thought was, well, how am I going to weigh this? Should I get the stuff done that would help other people, or should I just work on my own stuff? So instead of just working on my own stuff all the time, I'm getting these videos done and going through. I did the technique exercises for 2 levels over 2 days, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in my hands, and I'm doing a lot of. I think there's a lot of bar chord stuff going on, and there's a lot of going through the initial 201 is where the minor pentatonic pattern. So I'm doing a lot of minor pentatonic things. So I'm going to kind of do my practice for me, but only after I get all the things done for everybody else. So that's kind of a decision I had to make. So let me check the chat out here. Josh says, I'm uploading my video as we speak. It's a little late. No problem, because Chris got his up today, and I had about 7 of them last night. I went through most of them. Evans was the last one in the line. So then Chris is after that, and then Josh, if you put yours up, that'd be fine. I'll get to that this evening too. So let's see here. Evan says it was really good. I was pretty basic in week 1, so I had to transition to working on 7th chords the last couple of days just to keep it interesting. Awesome. And Josh said, listen to some Albert Collins and BB King this morning. Yeah, that's Evan R. Not Evan Wilson. Evan R. was doing some blues things, and I told him we were talking about phrasing and listening to BB King for the phrasing stuff. And basically, I said, "Hey, man, just listen to some BB King and get some licks." And one of the ones I always like to play was the Live at San Quentin BB King. So I told him, check that out. And he said, it's too fast. And I hadn't listened to it in a long time. It was something that I had one of my favorite BB King live albums to play along with. And I went back to it. And yet every song, it's about 10,000 miles an hour. Maybe it's because they were playing in San Quentin. They were trying to get through as fast as they could to get out. So yeah, that's some stuff I like to listen to too. And so Evan says I made it 30 to 40 minutes a day. That's great. That's awesome. Um, 30 minutes to 40 minutes, perfect. I'm glad you can do that, especially with all the work and you've been going in and out of the city too. So that's awesome. Josh got a YouTube alert. Great. It worked. So that was another thing you notice I'm a little off today, I'm a little frazzled because I've got a whole new system going on and I got it set up. Looks like I got it set up just in time. The YouTube chat. I may try and fix that on the fly while we're here because it's just I'd like to have the whole, as you guys see it, where you can see all of the things going down. So it just stays up there for a minute and then goes away. So let me try this. Let's see here. Okay, so visual settings. Select the properties. Theme is clean. There's the background color. We show messages. How about this? Maybe that'll change it. Okay, so let's see what happens now when the chat comes up. It may stay up longer. I may have fixed it. Okay, so back to the chat. Evan, I was thrilled with it, just that I made it every day. I felt really good about spending on what I was practicing with the Academy. Great. Yeah, and I'm going through all the levels in the Academy right now. We'll have this like as a little founding member hangout. And I'm going to get that whole roadmap done. But then I'm going to add some other stuff in there. So I've got my ideas of some other fun stuff to add on. So as you're going through the levels, there could be some other things that we could work on. Some songs is the hard thing because when you're selling a course or when you're having the Academy and stuff like that and you don't own the songs, it's tough. But what I was thinking is just on YouTube I do some free songs, and then may go along with these things there, the things that we're working on in here. So I wouldn't be selling the songs. I'll be doing them for free on YouTube. So we can pop over there, and if you're interested in learning some different songs, do it over there. Just an idea, but also working on some things like modes and all those stuff separate. So having some one-off sections, kind of add-ons to go along with the roadmap. So, all right, so let's see here. Evan said, but the basic chords I was working on at first got a little boring. I had to start working with sevens to keep it interesting. Yeah. And then Josh says, I'm not sure I pick guitar all the time. Just run through my scales, practice arpeggios and technique. Yeah. And blues stuff. It's a great way to pass the time. Josh says, BB King is quick. And he really plays with the soft and loud, with the dynamics too. He sure does. He sure does. So Evan's testing the chat. Okay. And you keeping up with practice. So there's a setting for how long they'll stay up there. Let me try and fix the chat again. Let's see if that keeps the chat up there a little bit longer. Josh says, yeah, I think so. I just play a lot right now because I'm in the house. I play daily for sure. Really want to do stuff with scales and arpeggios. Okay, well, we can get that. We can make that happen. Evan says, looks like it stays up longer, but not permanently. Yeah, I think I've got it. I think it's got a, I'm looking at it right now. It has a little bar and it just has numbers, and as you slide it to the right, the numbers. I'm guessing that's how long it stays up. So I'm gonna crank it all the way up to 200. See how long. Okay. All right. Looks like things are better. Nothing like learning stuff on the fly. I'm glad we don't have tons and tons of people here. I appreciate you guys' help. So I'm checking off stuff. The stream is better. It's more solid. The chat now is working. And I also have a alert thing that would pop up as with some other things that go on too. So let's see here. Looks up, stays up. The chat's in white and kind of hard to see and has no background. All right, so let me settings. There's black. Let's see if that's any better. It's kind of harsh looking. Let me see if I can put a background up. Theme clean. Boxed. Let's try boxed. Okay, so that do boxed, and then let's go back to white with the box and see what that does. Font settings, text color should be white. Font size. How's that looking? Okay. It's a little bit better. I think that looks better. What about you? Let me, what, those things in purple, I'm going to fix those too. Let's see here. See if I can fix some of this. Well, I was seeing if I could change the color of the people's names, but it's not letting me do that. So Josh says, no problem, Lee, just happy to do the live stream, learn cool stuff. Hopefully we can help. And then Evan says, that's easy to read. I like that the boxes are translucent. That's easier to read. Okay, we're getting there. Figuring this stuff out. Yeah, so what I do with these is that first one, I send an email out to the list, which is like 1,200 people, something like that. Then I send a Twitter out, and then I put stuff in the group, and put stuff out there that was going to happen. And I was thinking about doing that today, but it took me so long to get this ready that I didn't really want. I just was hoping somebody would pop in, and so I'm very happy you guys did. We're small and mighty today. I appreciate you being here. So guitar's in there too. Wow, it all works. Okay, so this one, I want to talk about some chords. I thought since you guys are here, and I've got Evan watching right now, and Josh, you might like this too. And there's actually, we got like 5-6 people in today without announcing that was coming up. So that's good. I want to, this is a level that I'm thinking about doing. This is something that I used to do something that we used to do in jazz class, guitar class, and we would start voicing chords in different places using something, a different way to go. So let's talk about, this might be fun for you, Evan, to try a little bit. Let's talk about minor seventh chords. So I'm going to do the key of G. All right, I'm going to write this down. So we're going to do a G minor seventh chord. So a minor seventh chord starts with, we got the root, which is G. We need the flat third. So that'd be a B flat. We need the fifth in the key of G is a D. And then we need a flat seventh. That's 2 frets back from the root. So it needs an F in there. So the 4 notes that we need to make a G minor seventh chord: G, a B flat, a D, and an F. And when you first start learning chords, first thing you do is you learn open position chords. And how people usually do that is they just memorize the shapes. And that's all you need to get started. Then we move to, and this kind of goes along with the podcast from last week, the chord. Then we move to bar chords and start sliding them around. And the thing that you need to know really for bar chords is, what's the root? Okay? What do we need on the low string to tell us that's a C? Some sort of C. That's a C minor, or C major, or C seventh, C minor seventh. And you get used to just figuring out what the root is, and then it makes your chord. But the next step after that is figuring out what all of the notes are in the chord. And once you do that, and you know what all the notes are, you can put them anywhere. So back to this G minor seventh chord, it's got a G, a B flat, a D, and an F. Now when you go G, B flat, D, and F, what we're first going to do is try and figure out where each one is on one string. And we'll build the rest of that chord from that note. So here's a G, and we want to make a minor seventh chord. So we need a G. And I'm going to make this using the 4 strings. So I'm going to make this the E, the D, the G, and the B string. So I've got my G. The next closest one is an F right here. That's our 7. Okay, it's right, skipping the A and going right there to the D. So we've got our G. I can mark it off. We've got our F. The 2 notes we need now are a B flat and a D. So let's move to the G note, the G string, and the B flat's right there. It's on the same fret. So we've got our G, our F, and our B flat all right in a row. The last one we need, G, F, B flat, we need a D. And the D note is on the 3rd fret of the B string, all in a row. So I can build this minor 7th chord just by, it's almost like a bar. I like to use my 2nd finger just to hit the 1 string and then the other one to bar. That way I can miss the A string. But at this point, we got our G, B flat, D, and F. We can move it around a little bit. So say I want to voice the same chord just on the top 4 strings. I can take this G, put it up here. So now I've got G, there's my D, there's my B flat, there's my F. Okay, so I've got this one, this one. We'll just do those for now. Let's move to another position. So G, the next note is B flat. Let's move up to the B flat, make that be the lowest note, and build a chord from there. So now we've got our B flat, we need the other notes. We need a G, a D, and an F somewhere in this area that we can play them at the same time. So here's a G right there. That's the 5th fret of the D string. Here's a D. That's at the 7th fret of the G string. And then all we need left is an F. We can use this finger here, the 3rd finger, on the 6th fret. And I've built a minor 7th chord. Now it's in the 5th position. So, same chord, same notes, but the way the notes are arranged make it sound completely different. And if we want to take this low note here on the low string and just flip it to the top, there's another G minor 7th chord. So we've got, see where I'm going with that? So what ends up happening is, over time, instead of just relying on memorizing a shape and sliding it to where you want it to be, you start to be able to take the actual notes of the chords and figure out new voicings in different places just by making sure you have all of the ones. And I'm going to go through all the different chords, not just the minor 7th, all of those different things. But I thought, Evan, that might be something that you might want to try during your chords this week. Maybe pick a few chords out, figure out what the notes are, and try finding them in all the different places on the neck of the guitar, maybe in 2 places. Oh, here, out here. So that's kind of where I was going with the podcast last week, is working on something like this. I'm kind of working it in my head too, of a cool way to teach it. When I learned it when I was playing jazz and stuff, there's a certain way that they teach it that it's geared towards 2-5-1s. A lot of the music that we're all playing, there's not a whole lot of 2-5-1s. It's more like a 1-4-5 rock type stuff. So I'm thinking about a way to teach that's more geared towards, more modern type sounds. So Josh says that last one sounded Hendrix-like. Yep. So as you voice them, they get that kind of. Very cool, moving back and forth. That's all the same chord, just in different places. Let's see here if I can do it. So I've just played a whole bunch of chords that once I figured out what the notes are, I can play them anywhere. And it reinforces the thing that I always say is, what we're trying to do is get to the point where no matter where your hand is on the neck of the guitar, no matter what song you're playing, no matter what key you're playing in, no matter what kind of scale you have, what you need is right underneath your hand, no matter where it is on the guitar. You just got to get used to playing those things. This is great. Everything worked. Wow. First week, everything worked in a while. Stream is coming through. Chat's coming through. Perfect. That's great. And David's here. Hey, David. If you're still here, good to see you. David says, just saw you were on. And Evan says, hey, David. Josh says, hey, David. It's going good. Stir crazy, but good. Yeah, we've been going stir crazy too. We did 2 weeks without really going anywhere. We just got in a car and drove a little bit yesterday. We're not under a mandatory stay at home here. Hey, David, I'm glad you're still here. Great to see you. How's those chords going? I hope chords are getting easier and easier for you. Not as fun as the scales sometimes, depending on who you are. Josh says, I like it. Sounds like an awesome course. Thank you. I think it's a good idea. So yeah, I've got all the levels that you've seen me with all the founding members. There's 101, which is the beginner course, which I'm going to have a slimmed down version for the for the for the academy. And then there's 102. At that point, you're not a beginner anymore, so that goes to 201, 223, and we go all the way up to 207. I think I have there, and I have my idea for 208. No one's. I think 205 is the highest that we have anyone working on right now. But I think Josh. I think Evan and Chris may be headed there pretty soon for 206. But what I really want to do is come up. I'm getting ideas, and I'm just going to knock it out. I'm going to take this Guitar 30 challenge and make it my academy challenge, just to knock this thing out. So, but I want to have some other things like this chord course and one-off courses that aren't part of the roadmap for to have some extra things to do. So Josh says, I've learned and memorized a lot of chords, but love the theory and ways to build them. I've been working to do that. Great. Yeah, the when you get like a player's theory, a lot of people get bogged down with theory. They just, once they start figuring out a little bit of it, that's all they want to do. It's just theory, and it kind of gets away from the playing, and it's more of its own thing. I know a lot of people that has happened. It's kind of like a balance, getting enough theory to know what you're doing with playing, so it helps your playing, but not enough where you just start learning theory all the time and go down that route too. So let's see here. David says chords are getting better. I've eased up and trying a lighter touch, and it seems to be helping. Yeah, especially you've got the Ibanez and the if you play like I think it was Satriani. I think I'm trying to think of some of the guitar players that you brought up in some of the posts and everything. And guys like Satriani, he uses a Marshall with some type of DS1, Boss DS1 in front of it. He's changed to all sorts of different kinds, but that's that classic pedal that he uses. And that Marshall, which is almost clean, it's just a little bit dirty, and then the DS1 in front of it, that's kind of his sound with a humbucker in front of it. One of those, I think they call it Fred humbucker. One of those humbuckers that Ibanez has a lot of mid-range in it. And if you play that, I've done it with a JB. I had a guitar that had a Seymour Duncan JB, which is similar to that pickup, into a Boss DS1, into a Marshall, a barely distorted Marshall, and it's really touch sensitive. So especially with a lighter touch, and even with lighter strings, when you really hit them, it saturates. But when you play light, you can hear every single string. So it's getting control of your. I didn't have. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get something. So I've got it set kind of where that saturation would be. The light touch. Almost clean. Let's see if I can. If I did the same thing. You get to the point where I'm not even thinking about pedals anymore. I'm not even thinking about my volume. I'm thinking if I play clean, Still a little bit. Being able to lighten up that touch there is really helpful for getting lots of different tones out too, is the point I'm trying to make on my way back to there. So David says they're getting better, eased up, lighter touch seems to be helping. Great. That's awesome. That's awesome. So what are your plans for your second week of the Guitar 30 Challenge? We've got the 29th, which is today, through April 1st, which is on Wednesday, and then on Saturday it would be the last day of it, the 4th. So we're going straight into April 4th. I know mine is going to be, I'm going to do the videos for finish up 201, 202, I think it is, and I'm going to keep up with my Mixolydian work on that. So those are my plans too. I'm not going to do the techniques that I have written here because I'm doing tons of technique exercises going through these videos. So that's my plan for week 2. Have I noticed any difference in my playing? And yeah, going through those Mixolydian patterns is a good refresher for me, because I don't usually go. I usually kind of go in and out of them. So that's been good for me. Let's check the chat here. And David says, I did just order the Positive Grid Spark amp, which I've been looking at a lot for better play along. Supposed to be a smart amp. Sounds great. Yeah, and you know what? I've got Positive Grid biased amp. I bought that instead of buying the Spark amp. I just bought the direct in for me, and I've also got they had a thing where you could get a free light version of the Positive Grid effects thing too. So one of the things that I was going to do on one of these live streams was go through that and build a bunch of sounds with the Positive Grid stuff, which might help you with the Spark amp too. I'm going to do that pretty soon, I think. Okay. Evan, transition to dominant sevenths. So I'll probably work minor sevenths the next day or so, then 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths. Yeah. And when you get to the 9ths, the 11ths, and 13ths, you'll start to, when you start, if you just go and get chord charts, they'll have that figured out for you. But a lot of the guitar chords that you'll find for 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths, there's a 13. It's a D13 right there. So it's got the root, the major third, the flat 7th, and then we've got the 9th, and then the 13th. There's no 5th in there. So there's certain notes when we start to get in those, there's certain notes that you can leave out. The 5th being one of them. That doesn't really affect the functioning of the chord at all if you're having a hard time getting all those notes in. But we haven't got to that yet. So let's see here. David said week 2 will be chord progressions with backing track. Very cool. Very cool. And then Josh says he's going to keep working arpeggios through the scale and applying them to a lead over a loop. That's what I'm up to, and learn a new song. I was playing Smashing Pumpkins Bullet with butterfly wings today. Yeah, that's a good one. I think I've played that before. I have Marty is learning that Slash, that Anastasia song, and I hadn't heard it. I hadn't heard in a while. It's pretty cool. It's got like a classical intro to it, and even the solo's got kind of a classical thing, which is neat hearing Slash do that, and actually saw him play it live, and he played it really good. He played it really good. So um, I enjoyed that. You can check out one of Marty's videos if you want. He's learning that one right now. And Evan says, I remember from one of the podcasts you can drop the fifth. Yeah, you can always drop the fifth. The fifth is filler. It's meat and potatoes. It thickens things up. But if you're pressed for strings, if you want to get a nice small voicing, the fifth note of the scale can always be dropped. You can also drop the root, which freaks a lot of people out. Say it ain't so to drop the root, but if you've got, especially if you're playing in a band or if you're playing, somebody else is playing, and they may be covering the root, so you don't need it. It doesn't change the third and the seventh are really tell you what's going on with the movement of the lines there. It has a lot of bass note movement in B, I think. Are you talking about the Smashing Pumpkins? Bullet with Butterfly Wings Today. I'm going to listen to that again. Let me write that down. I haven't heard. Wings. I'm going to take a listen to that too. Okay. I kept finding voicings with no root this week. I felt like I needed to add it. And Josh says I dropped the root to play D shapes. Yeah. D shapes. I like one of the licks. I'll drop my pick again. One of the licks I play a lot is kind of like from a suspended D and the arpeggio back. Let's see here. I really like that. I find myself playing that. Why? I wonder why everyone's name is in purple. See if there's anything I can do about that. Hold on a second. Font settings. Text color. Font size. Chatter. Icon chat box. High command starting with muted chatter. Nope. Source. I am going to have to figure out how to do that another time. Not easy to do. I'm going to learn how to do that. For some reason, everyone's name is coming up purple, and it makes it very hard for me to read. I don't know about you guys. So, Josh said that's. Let's see, that was Smashing Pumpkins, and then David says just learned my first whole song all the way through. Star Spangled Banner. Awesome. Way to go, David. That's great. And I don't remember what my first song was all the way through. I have to think about that. It was probably something really simple, really easy. I think You Got Me Beat with Star Spangled Banner. I could put the names in red. Go Chiefs. Just kidding. It would be so hard to read. Yeah, I don't know why everything's in purple today. I'm not sure. But I'll get it figured out for next week. Another note to do. Change names from purple. Okay. All right. Well, it's getting close to 5 here. I'll have to sign off in a few minutes. If you guys any questions or anything, next few minutes, let me know. I'm happy to help you. I'm kind of calming down a little bit. This was getting everything working. So has anybody seen any breakups with this? Any kind of glitches or anything during their stream? I haven't noticed it, but I haven't been looking up on my phone the entire time. It looks pretty clear now. Josh says, "Hang on, Sloopy was your first one." That's awesome. That's a good one. I used to like Back in the New York Groove. Do you remember that? That was one of the first songs I wanted to learn. It was like a wah type thing. That was it. It's like an E note with a wah wah pedal on it. Not a very good wah pedal. Let me see if I can get this wah pedal. There we go. Anyway, I know that was one of the first songs I wanted to play. Okay, so Evan says, nope, it's been a clean feed. David says, ran perfect. Awesome. Thank you guys for helping me out with this. This was fun, just hanging out. It's clean. Josh says the chat to screen is delayed, but I think that's just gonna be everything. It's got like a 20-second delay, something like that. Are my voc when you see me talk and what you hear, is that synced up? Because that's one of the problems here too. I had to put in a 150 millisecond delay. So when I'm talking, does it look like the audio is synced up correctly? That's another question. David says, was trying Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka, and the start of that sounds like the beginning of For the Love of God. Yeah, was it's For the Love of God. Is that one there? Forget that, or is that Blue Powder? I forget the names of his stuff. Something like that. I learned that one time. Josh says it's synced. Audio's in sync. Awesome. That's great. Because I had put I had moved that delay from my other program into this one, and I just was hoping that it would work. Okay. Yeah, all these live streams, they're like 20 seconds off. So I'm always kind of talking, asking questions, and realizing that it's going to take a while for it. So Josh says it's synced up perfect along with the guitar. It's perfect too. I can't believe it. Something good happened. Something good happened this week. Awesome. David said, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. That's a cool song. I learned that a long time ago. I don't know. You got me thinking about Steve Vai and Joe Satriani. Maybe I'll learn a couple of those songs, put them up on YouTube. I don't know. Okay, guys. It is 5 o'clock. Thank you all for being here. We had David and Josh and Evan. I think Angel was in here too. Did I miss anybody else? I think that's everybody was chatting. We've had 2 or 3 other people pop in and pop out. So I'm going to call that a win. You know, baby steps at a time. Yeah. That's it. Yep. Yeah, that's right. So that's good news, Josh. Let's see here. The testing, and I'm glad that her test was negative. Very glad. We've got to I don't know if one of our founding members is a I said this the other day, is up in Philadelphia practicing medicine, which is kind of frontline stuff. So he's been on my mind too. But I'm glad that the test went well. And Evan, I'm glad you're getting out of having to go downtown there for a while, let all this stuff flow through and get out of here, you know? Okay, guys, I'm going to see you later. And thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll let you know the next time I'm going to do these. I may do them every few days or something like that. I'm going to see how it goes. I've got everyone's lessons to do tonight, and then podcast coming up on Monday. So I'm going to be I got my work cut out for me. Okay, but great to hang out with you guys. I'll see you next time.